What's up, people? Thanks for tuning in to Outside the Ropes. Doing a quick video on Manny Pacquiao versus Miguel Cotto. This is a fight that a lot of people have been debating about. With the whole catchweight situation. Pacquiao wanted Cotto to come down to 143. I think it's safe to say we were all glad that he didn't decide to do that. But then they finally came to an agreement after negotiations. To have the fight at 145 pounds, which is 2 pounds under Miguel's normal weight where he fights at 147. So it shouldn't be too bad, but still, 2 pounds can make a fucking difference. But I understand Pacquiao, has to come up as well. Now, a couple of things I want to really talk about here before I really get into predictions or anything like that. Am I the only one who feels like Miguel Cotto is being taken advantage of just a little bit? What does the man have to do? The man has been in war after war after war. He got in there. He's fighting everybody that people, the other welterweights didn't want to fight. He fought Margarito, aka Brickfist, who beat the shit out of him with plaster of Paris. We all know that. And then he had the war with Shane Mosley. And he's been in there with Zab Zuda. He's been in some wars, And what does the man have to do really to get some money? With the whole negotiation process that took place, I understand that the Pacquiao camp was trying to get a 70-30 split at first, and then they decided to do a 65-35 split, which, in my opinion, man, I personally. You guys can disagree. I think Cotto deserves more than that because the man has done everything that's been asked of him. He was in there with Joshua Clottey. He had a big gash over his eye. He didn't quit. He kept fighting when he could have just gave up. The man is a warrior. I personally think, 60-40 would have been good. You know what I'm saying? As far as, splitting the money up fairly, because... if you think about Manny Pacquiao's last fights, he's had pretty much an easy time in his past few fights. He hasn't been in a war since he fought Marquez. We all know that Marquez gave him the roughest time in years that we've seen him fight. So just a little bit of that. And with that being said, I personally, I think Pacquiao, he's one of my favorites right now. And I just think that he's being hand-fed, a little bit too much, right now because, he's getting everything his way, which, the man, he deserves it. He's put on some good performances and whatnot, but, with all that being said, with the, with him being hand-fed and whatnot, my personal opinion, look out for some corruption in this damn fight. Okay, I'm going to come right out and say, look out for a blind judge. If it goes to the scorecards, look out for a couple of blind judges, at least one of them, if not two, in Pacquiao's favor. Because the reason why I think this could happen is for the simple fact that everybody knows that the most money to be made is with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. Okay, they're not going to let that get away. Okay, by risking Manny Pacquiao losing to Miguel Cotto, because then what's going to happen? Then Mayweather, he's going to make an excuse not to fight him because he lost, which makes sense. You want to fight a winner, of the fight, and Miguel Cotto is not going to make as much money with Floyd Mayweather as Manny Pacquiao. So with that being said, look out for some corruption in this damn match right here. I personally think Miguel Cotto, if he doesn't knock out Manny Pacquiao or just overwhelm him and beat the shit out of him for 12 rounds straight, then he's not going to win the fight. He got, the little favor, when he fought in New York against Joshua Clottey, and, he was up on the scorecards with that one ridiculous judge who gave him, the fight by a long shot, something like 116, 111 or something ridiculous like that. He does get that too every now and then, but with this here, I think he's going to be on the receiving end. So a decision is really not the way to go for Miguel Cotto right now. Now, I'm gonna just point out what each man needs to do to win the fight. Okay, and I'm gonna start off with Manny Pacquiao. Now, Manny Pacquiao, what he needs to do is he needs to be the aggressor. He needs to back Miguel Cotto up. He needs to throw his combination punching. He needs to work the body, tire Miguel Cotto out because he can fade away later on in the fight, and he needs to just keep Miguel Cotto turning the way he does. How he turns his opponent and then he hits him with the left hand as soon as they turn around to try to square up with them. That's what Manny Pacquiao needs to do to win the fight, and he needs to be careful that he doesn't take too much body punishment from Miguel Cotto, because Miguel Cotto does throw some vicious body shots. I think those are his best punches. So that's what Manny Pacquiao needs to do. Now, Miguel Cotto, what he needs to do is, pretty much the opposite of what I told Manny Pacquiao to do. He needs to be the aggressor. He needs to not do that backpedaling. Now, even though Miguel Cotto can fight pretty good when he's backing up, he can do that. We've seen him do that when he fought Margarito, and there's a few other fights I can name where he backpedals and he still does a good job at scoring, stuff like that. But this is not what he wants to do against Manny Pacquiao. He needs to cut the ring off. He needs to be the aggressor. He needs to keep coming forward, and he needs to make Manny Pacquiao think about defense so that his offense, he can't get it off the way that he wants to. His combination punching. That's what Miguel Cotto needs to do. He needs to be careful. I wouldn't lead with the right hand. What I would do is I would throw the jab first, at least 2 or 3, before he throws the right hand, because we all know that Manny Pacquiao, he keeps his hands up here, he moves his head side to side, and if you notice, what he does is he waits for that right hand lead, and then he ducks over it, and he hits you with that overhand hook, or it looks like a reverse uppercut that he knocked Ricky Hatton out with, and he hit Marquez with that punch a couple of times as well. And he waits for that right hand. He times it perfectly, and then he moves to the side, and then he hits you with that hook. So Miguel Cotto, he needs to throw the jabs first before he throws that right hand. Which the right hand, of course, is going to be his strongest punch because it's a southpaw versus a conventional fighter. So just don't lead with the punch is basically what I'm saying. He needs to work the body. He needs to take Manny Pacquiao into deep waters. He needs to tire him out with the body punching, and then he may have a chance of winning. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give a prediction on it. I think that Miguel Cotto is worn out personally. I don't even think that his eye is going to be healed up the right way yet. He hasn't given his body really enough time to rest. I mean, with all that being said, I think that Manny Pacquiao is going to be too much for Miguel Cotto to deal with. Which I hate the fact that Miguel Cotto is not going to be at his best. I just don't believe that he will, because I really do like Miguel Cotto. He was one of my favorite welterweights, and he still is. He still is pretty much. He's right behind Manny Pacquiao and Shane Mosley for me, because Shane Mosley right now is. He's pretty much the best welterweight right now. I mean, he's the champion at 147, and people are afraid of him. He's being ducked right now. So that's my prediction on the fight. I think Manny Pacquiao is going to win the fight. I don't think it's going to be a knockout. I think it's going to be a unanimous decision victory for him. Not taking away, it's going to be a tough battle for Manny Pacquiao. He's not going to do what he did to Oscar De La Hoya or Ricky Hatton to Miguel Cotto. But the thing is, Miguel Cotto, we've seen him in his career, we've seen him vulnerable, and we know that he gets hit a little bit too much. He's a great champion and he's got heart, but he gets hit way too much. And Manny Pacquiao, I think, with Freddie Roach, they're going to come in with the right game plan and they're going to execute it, because Manny Pacquiao is probably the best at following his corner's instructions. I mean, go back and look at his fights and listen to what his corner tells him, and he goes right in there and he does exactly what they tell him to do. So with that being said, Manny Pacquiao, unanimous decision. There it goes. You heard it from me. Peace out.